Well, hello, Richard Ventura. I'm so pleased to welcome you today to the Next Gen Marketing Group Business Leaders Spotlight. I'm thrilled to have you because not only have we known each other for a number of years, business, and also have become great colleagues and friends. I see all the great things that you are doing out in the mortgage world, winning awards and thrilling your clients. And so we are just honored to have you here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Lori. Yeah, it's been great working with you as well. And we've had a lot of fun together. Thank you very much. And you're a part of our team growth as well. So I do appreciate it and everything that you do.
Well, thank you. We're grateful. So exciting times in the real estate and mortgage world. And really wanted to focus on that today and really get your perspective because, Rich, you've made miracles happen for your clients. And there's a lot of people that are struggling right now with the new stress tests and coming out of COVID and financial pressures and the real estate market out of control, might be leveling out. Would love your opinions on all that, but just people kind of struggling with trying to get the house of their dreams or the life of their dreams and recover from all this COVID pandemic madness. So, maybe just a bit of, if I could have you speak to the world in which you're living right now in the mortgage world, your clients, what you're going through, and your key factors for success in setting them up with their dreams.
Great question. Thank you. Yeah, so the pandemic has definitely changed a lot of things for everybody. The mortgage market is totally crazy right now and lots of changes happening out there in the market. Real estate is really red hot right now with prices soaring and people trying to get into the market. Waterloo region here continues to break record sales for homes, and the average prices of homes in Waterloo region have topped over 900,000. So you're seeing so much action out here in this market right now. Governments are now starting to intervene as well a little bit with the mortgage rules and new stress tests. So it really has impacted a lot of buyers out there, especially first-time home buyers. And we're seeing a lot of very strict underwriting coming out of COVID pandemic due to the fact that when we look at history of income, history of income is a very important key factor of consistency. And when you mix in a pandemic where people stopped working, it really does paint a different picture when it comes to mortgage approvals, especially for self-employed, because they've been affected the most.
Yeah. And so what happens if people got relief? Let's say they were in a job and, they applied for CERB and got it. Did that count as income or?
It does not actually count as income. It counts as income on your own taxes, but it doesn't for qualification purposes, right? So, however, lenders in the beginning of the first wave of the pandemic, when it first came about, anybody that was on the assistance programs such as CERB, they balked and ran away, or if you deferred your mortgage payment, they really shied away from it. But then when government started introducing a little bit more liquidity, meaning that they're backing up more bonds or printing more money into the market, the rules started to ease up again, and they were more accepting as long as it's very consistent. Not every industry benefited from it. So if you're in the service industry, such as food or anything that was non-essential, you were pretty much left out there, not knowing if you could get approved for a mortgage or not, especially if you're purchasing a home. So it was really tough times. Of course, deferral payments on mortgages also played a major factor on the lender relending money to you if you postponed your mortgage payments for 6 months, which we saw a lot of in the first wave. It really did impact a client's ability to obtain a mortgage.
Yeah, absolutely. So did they look at that as a default payment?
They don't. They're not supposed to look at it that way. The program wasn't intended for that. But because it's recorded history, they look at it to see, you know, the type of struggles. Is it character of the actual client or applicant applying? Will they factor that into a decision? They do. They actually
Yeah.
look at it. And because it's recorded on history, we knew many, the credit bureau and lender community out there, banks and credit unions and trust companies, all reported if, you know, you were on a credit card, line of credit, or mortgage deferral payment setup, and they forced clients to come off of it if they wanted that mortgage.
Okay. Yeah. Tough times. But, you know,
It was tough.
having said that, you guys had a great year, and as a brokerage, you really excelled and won awards. And so what makes you stand out? Makes Mortgage Ingenuity stand out? Not even just, you know, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, Guelph, where you're doing business, but even beyond that, you're winning awards across Ontario, and even the Innovation Award that was Canada-wide. So how'd you do it?
We pride ourselves a lot, you know, designing mortgage solutions. We're not that typical mortgage brokerage where we look at everything kind of, you know, made to order type of thing, right? We look at everything very holistically. So when we're drafting up or designing a mortgage solution for our clients, you know, we factor in all the factors that they have. So we look at your savings, we look at your assets and liabilities, we look at your experience and job tenures, self-employed, where we really specialize in, and we, you know, look for those solutions that accommodate what the end result is, and that is either purchasing or refinancing. We look for all those types of solutions, and then we present it to the consumer. We won lots of awards. Our brokerage stuff funds well over 250 million a year in mortgage volume of funding. We're a team of 16. We have some great brokers and mortgage agents on our roster. They're great family members, and they're all of the same mindset of helping each other, helping their clients in the community, designing mortgages that are suitable and transparent so that you know exactly what you're getting into, what you're paying for. I'd probably say our biggest advantage amongst our peers is the fact that we leverage technology. So Mortgage Ingenuity, we really invested in technology, not only for our systems, but we're one of the very few that started off with a proprietary mobile app. So we actually have an app on Apple and Google devices, smartphones, tablets, and we're actually working on some other little projects as well that we can actually bring it to a desktop. So we're working on all those projects right now. We have integrated portal technology where a client can actually upload pictures of their documents instead of scanning. We have digital signings, Zoom meetings, of course, just like everybody right now who's adopted that. It really didn't affect our business because we've had this technology and innovation already for well over 5 years. And it really helped us out in servicing our clients during the really tough times of the pandemic. We were still able to help everyone. Hence, we were one of the top producing mortgage architects franchises in all of Ontario and recognized in Canada for Innovation Award in 2019 due to the technology that we've introduced. And now you're starting to see a lot of people following kind of the footsteps that we have kind of laid out.
Yes.
It's happening all over the map.
Well, you know, what's interesting is I know just through working with you that your operations are so smooth because all of this technology, when you're able to have clients jump in, upload and keep checklists, because there's a lot of documentation in a mortgage, having been through it, I know this. And it's really great that you don't have the 40 emails going back and forth. And I love that your operations are so streamlined because it really makes the process for your clients a lot easier, right?
It is, yeah. We listen a lot to our clients on how they like processes done, and we try to streamline a lot of those processes so it's not so much of a headache for them when they're going through it. Because let's face it, going through a mortgage application is already stressful enough when you're doing the application. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets nervous and stressed and all that stuff, and we like to make things a lot easier by, you know, introducing a portal. You can kind of apply online, already see kind of what you probably be qualified for. Taking a picture versus scanning a document on a scanner, which everyone might not have such equipment at home. It makes it so much easier. We're trying to make things as stress-free as possible. Do we have little hiccups now and then with technology? Absolutely. When it's not working, or when the internet or networks are down.
Yeah.
But
that's the same
overall,
as anything.
Overall, you're looking at, we try to streamline and try to make things as easy as possible so that you are feeling comfortable. And that's basically our model. We want our clients to feel good, and we want them to feel, that they understand everything, to see how transparent the brokerage is when we're presenting, your mortgage solutions and what it's going to cost. And then, of course, we keep our clients informed on how the market is with rates and everything, all, at the tip of your fingers, right? So it's so important to keep everybody engaged.
Awesome. And I wanted to ask you, this is kind of a burning question, fair or not, with the real estate market. I think there's a lot of predictions right now about the market starting to maybe cool off. What are your feelings on that? Do you think that things are tailing off? Did it just get too hot? And then now it's become more ridiculous. Like, what's going to happen? Even, can the government step in and try and calm this down a little bit? I mean, certainly there's ways of doing that through restrictions, but what are you seeing? What are you feeling? Because I know a lot of people right now are thinking, geez, it's so out of control. I can't even own a house,
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, because you have so many deserving Canadians that have good jobs and stuff, and they just can't seem to catch a break on trying to get into the housing market, especially in GTA, starting even here in Waterloo region. Now you're starting to see some of that. You're starting to see some of our own residents starting to move even more southwest as prices become, a little bit cheaper. Our prediction for the next couple of years is we're going to see mortgage rates rising due to inflation, and the government is going to step in and stop producing more cash liquidity in the market, because they just can't keep going pumping out money because of high deficits and stuff. And inflation is now becoming a problem. So we're seeing the latter part of 2022, early 2023, mortgage rates rising, which should bring a more calming effect in the housing market. Waterloo region is starting to experience a little bit of a slowdown now. I think that spring rush, winter rush after the pandemic, when everything was locked down, I think people just really hit when some of the restrictions started to ease up a little bit, they really hit the market out there. We're still seeing a lot of influx of more GTA residents selling there, coming over here, because now the ability of working from home has played a massive factor. And now people are actually saying, well, listen, I don't want to live in a 400 square foot condo, have a gym in my condo, office in my condo, and I'm going to eat, out of the corner, of the balcony. I'll take that money, sell it, and then, buy something bigger in Waterloo region where I have a backyard and I can have a basement and all that stuff. So that's what happened. And it's still happening right now, because more and more, if you look around your areas, you're starting to see realtors from GTA and Toronto in Waterloo region promoting, those residents to come over here, right? And so that's what's happening right now. But we're seeing a little bit of a level off, but that's only because supply is very limited as well.
Right.
We're still experiencing supply shortages of homes. And there's such an imbalance between buyers and sellers out there. That's what's forcing prices to kind of skyrocket. The overbidding, the inflated housing prices that you're seeing in the market today is due to such demand and very limited supply.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, and what's interesting is that even though people that are selling high, if they don't move to another region where the prices are lower, then they have to buy high as well. So it's kind of what we're seeing is a lot of sprawl. I know, just in a lot of our marketing that we do for real estate, because those are our two big verticals, our mortgage and real estate. And what we're seeing is there's a lot of sprawl from Milton to Guelph, Guelph to, the center Wellington area where we operate out of. And the same thing for KW. You're getting kind of Milton and Guelph and Cambridge sprawl. So it's kind of, it's good for people, I think, like you say, coming out of region to a less expensive region relatively, but it's hard for people within the region. So I guess they're considering going out to the country, Rich, and buying farmland with cows.
And you know what? You've actually nailed it. There are tons of residents, even I can only speak for Waterloo Region and what we see in our data here. You're right. They're going to those rural areas. Cottage country, believe it or not, is so popular now. And there's kind of a movement back into southwestern and really southern Ontario, like Windsor area, Chatham, Sarnia, because those places are so affected by the last economic disaster during the money crisis, where Windsor really suffered with the auto industry kind of folding, going bankrupt, or creditor protection. Then those prices down there plummeted. You're seeing now that area there completely be revitalized, and even there now prices are beginning to come up as well, right? So it's just it's a cycle that's happening. Will it level off? Well, it depends on a few factors. Immigration continues to be a government focus for our country, and a lot of opportunities. And this is the beauty part about Ontario. There's so much opportunities in Ontario, especially in central and southwest, because of the access to 401 and so much great businesses and major cities and stuff like that. It's the popular place to be. And so when you have that and very limited supply, you're going to still continue to see prices increase. We feel that there's still about 50 years plus of construction still happening in Waterloo Region. You can see in just downtown Kitchener, the skyline is starting to sprout. Lots of condominiums, lots of high rises, lots of stacked townhomes. So you're starting to see that type of development and all this investment going into downtown areas. And that's just the anticipation of more and more people coming into the area. And you have great companies as well invested. You have the universities, we have the Googles of the world, Desire to Learn, Open Text. We have so many great companies in Waterloo Region and surrounding areas that people flock to those areas. And it's great on one aspect, but unfortunate for some of the others, especially the ones that are wanting to get into a market so bad and they can't. And that's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, everybody has to have a little bit of an open mind on when they do want to buy a home, looking at other alternatives, or maybe building their way up, build that equity first, right, and getting in. Those are kind of the solutions that we're starting to see out there in order to get into the market.
Yeah, getting on the ladder, right?
Yep.
Well, Rich, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. And if people want to get in touch with you, your website is mortgageingenuity.ca with all of your contact info. And I'll make sure when this interview is published out on social media that all your contact information is there so that you can continue to be in touch with people and helping them realize their dreams.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Lori.
Thank you.
Great working with you as always. You guys are so awesome. I can't thank you enough on what you do for us. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. We're grateful. Have a wonderful day, Rich. Say hi.
Take care. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.